You know what don't go together?
What?
Leftist mindset and Christian value. Let's play this clip. So we're going to listen to.
Let me hear what they saying.
And it's going to go off into something more specific.
Okay.
You cannot be a true born-again Christian and vote Democrat. They are celebratory of 1 million abortions a year. They believe that gender is infinite. And so some people say, but Charlie, what do the Democrats want? They want full and complete destruction of the United States of America. They do not want a better country. They do not want you to live in a better tomorrow. They want to overwhelm the system and radically transform it, as Barack Obama said, is one of the last things he said before he got elected president. We are only a few days away from fundamentally transforming this country. Let me ask you a question. Do you fundamentally transform that which you love? You conserve that which you love. That is why we call ourselves conservatives, because we have gratitude and love for this country that we did not build, but we inherited thanks to the grace and the glory of God. So to answer your question, no. If you vote Democrat as a Christian, I think you can no longer call yourself a Christian. You have to call yourself something else.
Wow.
I was hoping we could talk a little bit more about how you see college as a scam.
Okay, I think we did that, but sure. So.
If you want to talk about something else, we can talk about something else. I was just curious.
Okay. What would you like to pinpoint on that?
Yeah, well, I think a big part of your issue is that people are spending a lot of money and that you feel like they're not getting the equivalent of all the money that they go into debt or that they have to borrow to make it worth it. Well, in that case, I think education is really awesome. I think it's really valuable. I think education's the only way that someone like you is able to write a book is because someone taught you how to read and write. And education on all levels is great, so that's not that one, I don't think that's your issue with college, right?
Do you know where I went to college?
I don't think that's important right now. Let me just...
I didn't.
I'm just talking to... I said read and write, like you taught you to read.
Right.
No, I agree. I didn't say grade school's a scam.
Can we just keep going?
Yeah,
All
no.
right.
I said college is a scam, not grade school.
Right.
Keep going.
So we're talking about the financial part, right? So do you think that college should be free then so that everybody can get like a free education?
No.
Why
and
not?
By the way, what's happening in college is not an education.
Well, okay. You don't think that college should be free because it's not an education? If it was...
no.
Wait. If
Both,
it was an
for both.
education in your eyes, would you think that should be free? Or
What do you mean by free? You mean paid by somebody else?
Well, sure, our taxpayer dollars would go to pay for it.
So paid by somebody else.
Sure.
Sure. No, I don't believe that your schooling should be paid by somebody else.
I want my taxes to go to schooling for everybody. I think education's great. I don't want my taxes to go to fund wars. I don't want my taxes to go to the military or the police budget, but I don't get to
You don't
pick.
want any military?
I don't think that it should go to fund the military like that. I want my taxes.
You don't want any police force?
I want my taxes to go towards education because I think education is valuable. Do you think that education should...
This is a person that has not experienced what the real world, what real life is. She came from high school to college. She ain't seen the real world, and she going to this social justice warrior thinking. You know, it's
That's just how I feel about that.
should be
what
paid
is
for?
So define education. I'm curious.
Sure, it's just I would probably say that education right now is the ability to go out and learn different mindsets, to be introduced to different subjects, to have the opportunities to talk about these things with a lot of different kinds of people. I think that's the really cool part about college. Someone like you can come here and have different opinions. My history teacher just talked about how he does this whole
If that's the case, then it should be an institution for something else. If it's based off of what her definition is, where you just get to go and talk to people and learn different things or learn about what they're talking about, that's a waste of time and money.
Mm-hmm.
No, you should be able to go and learn to get education to become an expert in whatever the field is that you're paying for.
right.
You, not somebody else.
Right.
No, I don't agree with that.
I'm a conservative, old school conservative act, and then one of my other teachers, she's like, I'm a bleeding hippie, you know? There's like a lot of opportunities to just be introduced to subjects you didn't even know were a thing. Like, I didn't know that semiotics was a thing until my last philosophy class, and I think that's really interesting. So just the idea that you get to go out to this place and you get to get taught about a bunch of different ideas. Are you against that being available for everyone?
I have a completely different view of what education is. So education in Latin means to lead forth.
Okay.
Your idea of education is the new age, which is we're going to have like a buffet line of postmodern ideas and all ideas are treated the same. I don't believe that at all. College means partnership in Greek, and going back to education, you must lead forth towards something. And I think college should lead you towards the good, the true, and the beautiful.
Okay.
It should lead you towards things.
You think it should lead towards beautiful things?
Of course.
Like beautiful things? Like you think that we should go out after college and be like, where's the prettiest thing?
Yeah,
That's
like
your
taking off
idea?
that
beauty
black
is just the
eyeliner.
aesthetic. Then you're not having a great college
Well, then
experience.
What's your idea of beauty? My bad.
That
my
which
bad.
is perfected in being.
Okay, so you really like the Greek ideas and like the Roman ideas of like the idea of perfection and perfect harmony, because that's like a very Greek and Roman way of approaching.
It's Western, which is the civilization we currently live in.
Okay, but that
let me
stems
finish.
from Greek and Roman
Of course, you're right.
ideologies.
So the good, the true, and the beautiful are the three things that every college student should grapple with. Do you think in this current university that is what you're currently grappling with? That the focus of your education is enriching yourself to get closer to what is good, what is true, and beautiful?
See, I don't engage with you on the ideas that good, true, and beautiful are something that can be
Yes or
defined
no?
and something that can be taught.
You're perfect evidence of why I think college is a scam.
Right. I'm
Because
serious.
of course they
You're
can
not
be
even
defined, and
responding
they should be
it.
sought after.
Okay, so you think that something like the beautiful, the perfect, like
Yes.
something like goodness can be defined in quantifiable, teachable. Because you're Christian, I forgot. You guys think
Yes.
that there's like
Yes,
a
the-
binary to
Well, no,
goodness.
there's a hierarchy, not a binary.
Oh,
there's an
okay.
ultimate perfection. The ultimate
Okay.
perfection would be that there's a creator who loves you, who
Okay.
made you in his image and loved you so much to come down and take the broken flesh form, live a perfect life, die and rise from the dead so that you might live forever. There is nothing more perfect, good, true, or beautiful than that.
Right.
All right.
Okay,
so you
so
got a
I
lot
don't
of other
really
Christians
engage with
around.
religion like that. But what about just the idea that you get to go to a place, you get taught about different subjects, you get the opportunity. Okay, I'm sorry, because you don't have access to all these things wherever you come from. You get the opportunity to talk to people who know a lot about these different subjects and get to learn about that. You don't think that
No,
should be free or
you
like
too,
provided
First of all, I
Boo.
don't
for?
think it should be free, and I don't think that's what education should be or what it once was
it
when it was at its
sounds like
best.
to me.
When do
see-
you think it was at its best? Because we have like the Indian Golden House of, oh no, I think it was called the
Okay.
Baghdad Golden House of Wisdom. We have the Greek and Roman, and they had their whole thing about how you have to learn astrology at the same time as learning your education. We
Correct.
have like so many different points of learning and knowledge. I think people just love to learn. I think learning is inherent to what we want to do with our lives.
So two thoughts. That is the first line of Aristotle's metaphysics, which is all people seek to know, that something within us wants to learn. So to answer your question, when was education at its best? It
No,
at
that
its-
was you were the one
Can
who
I
was like,
finish?
education is not at their best here. You're like, this is your new age bullshit. Like,
it is. So, but
so when was it good?
I was about to say that, and you interrupted me again.
Oh,
Okay.
my bad. I'm
All right.
sorry.
So it was at its best when we had a thing called classical education here in America, specifically around the American founding. Classical education has a prioritization on Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, and the core canon of Greek thinking, which is that there is an abstract, distant good, the logos, which created the world, right? I want to try to find out more about what that is.
So you think that education should revolve around ethics then? You think it should be
Well,
teaching
it's a
people...
big part of education, yes. I think that creating good people should be the #1 priority of education.
Makes
Okay.
Do you
sense.
guys think that creating good people is a priority at Cal State Fullerton?
I don't think that
Oh, that's where he
really
is.
thing
Yeah.
that you can achieve like with a pointed... I don't think there's a way to really teach somebody... Being a good person is so hard, and it involves
hard.
so
I
many
could prove it to
different
you,
like
though.
factors.
I could prove to you
I think
how
that
we could do it.
we're getting a little
Get
bit
real
too
on
general
that
with things
note.
because
No.
the Greeks and the Romans,
I'll
they
prove it
were
to you.
really like they had a lot of beliefs. Okay, Plato and Aristotle were not like let's do the most good. They were not all in agreement about all these different things. They had a lot of
they
different
had a
disagreements.
teacher-student relationship. But let me ask you a question. Do you think people would commit more crimes or less crimes if they knew that a police officer was watching them at all times?
I don't think this is what
Just-
we're talking
and- no,
about,
it's,
bro.
no,
Yes.
you said you cannot teach people good. I'm asking a question. If somebody thought that somebody was watching their actions, would they behave differently?
Of course they would.
I think
Yeah.
that people behave differently when
Yes.
people watch
Therefore,
their actions.
if society thought that there was a God that was watching all of their actions, would they behave differently?
Completely different.
Yeah.
you feel like you behave better when someone is
Yes.
watching their
Absolutely.
actions?
And in fact, I
So you feel like you can't be good without someone there there to observe
it's not a matter of you can't be good. Is that you act better if you think that there is somebody watching and judging your actions.
That
This is the
really
biblical.
unfortunate for you, because I want to do good because I think it's better for the people around me, not because someone's watching me.
Hold
That's
on.
like the ideas of the panopticon.
Well,
you
hold on
know?
a second. But if you believe that somebody is always watching your behavior, you'd be less likely to lie, less likely to steal, less likely to cheat. And this is a good question, because you're coming after this in good faith. Do you think human beings are generally naturally good or generally not so good? Are we flawed from our birth, or are we good, or are we a blank slate?
See, you're bringing up these Christian ideas of good again. I don't think we really come to the same synthesis on what a good person is.
Okay,
I feel like
was Hitler good?
I feel like, again, you're not listening to me. I
Pretty
feel like we
simple
don't come
question.
to the same synthesis about
Well,
what
I think
good
we will, though.
is.
Yeah,
because
is-
for me,
I mean, that's a
think
no-brainer.
that something like good is, again, the question of
It's not that
ethics.
deep.
It's not really a question of education,
Pause
right?
it.
So
I
She-
cannot stand when
she-
people do that.
Yeah, they don't
It is
want-
not that deep.
Because if they answer the simple question, what the exact question is, it destroys what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And they
You
try to
wanna
keep
talk in
going.
circles.
Yeah.
And you're proving no point.
Yes.
Of course, we know the man was horrible.
Yeah.
you have to decide.
but super simple. It's
What
not a
people
trick question.
decide for themselves is good
It's
is
not a
different,
trick
right?
question.
So Hitler thought what he
No.
was doing was good for his people. We do not see his actions as good because he was pretty awful to a lot of people. But when we turn things into an ethical question,
Wait.
he may see it as doing good for himself and God, because yes, a lot of people believe they're doing good.
He knew
for
that wasn't
God,
good.
Even
What do you
if that
mean?
thing is killing people.
Was Hitler doing something objectively wrong?
Which thing are you talking about? You're talking
The
about the
concentration
genocide?
camps.
No, I don't like the concentration camps, believe it or not.
But hold on,
Believe it
you
or
don't
not.
like. So was that objectively bad?
Right. Yes or
Objectively
no?
bad. I do think that hurting people is objectively
Okay,
bad.
so now we're believing in bad. So then good. There's a spectrum now. You said objectively bad. So you now just said there's a spectrum. It's not a matter of, well, somebody wanted to do some good for yourself. No, no, no. Now there's a spectrum. Concentration camp bad. So then let's like get away from that. How about Mother Teresa? Good?
Are you talking about her actions and trying to help the poor?
Hundreds
Oh
of
my
thousands
gosh,
of
come
poor people
on.
that were saved in India and Calcutta thanks to her sacrificial work over 30 years.
I don't know Mother Teresa like
Oh,
that,
Just
but can we
please.
go
take what
back
I just
to
said
ed-
But
for-
you
I
didn't
feel
know
like we've
Hitler
gone really
either.
off track.
No, it's
For
not.
one,
Actually, we're
again,
no,
I
you're
think
talking about the
that-
most important thing
hey,
because
hey, dude, you're interrupting me again.
well, it is kind of our table. So,
Oh, so
but-
you can interrupt me, but
Yeah,
I
And
but
you
no,
can
but
interrupt-
hold on.
you interrupt
The fact
him
you can't
too,
answer this
honey.
question
Sit down.
shows that college is a scam. Because
What?
if you
Yes.
can't say that Mother
Yes.
Teresa good and
Right.
Hitler
Mother
bad,
Teresa denied anesthetics to people who were in serious pain because she thought the suffering would bring them closer to God. I think a lot of what she
please.
did could
Highly
be
doubt that.
considered.
So you
Okay, but I'll take it.
whatever. We can't just reference random things and use that, because right now we're talking about ideologies. Again,
No,
I find that
no,
what I
no.
consider to be good revolves more around the fact that humans are social creatures, and generally pro-social attitudes of promoting collectivism tends to be better for people just because that's in our evolutionary nature.
Is
but
it?
you are a Christian, so you believe that there's a guy watching you, and that's what makes you do good. You're
No,
like,
it's not.
if someone's
That is
watching
a-
me, I am more likely
No.
to be nice. But I
Hold
want to
on.
be
There's
nice
a lot
because
of other,
I like
there's
how
other
other
reasons
people
to do
react
good.
to
I was
others.
asking the
Okay.
question that would you be more or less likely to shoplift if a police officer was next to you in a department store? It's a
No.
very simple ethical
It
question.
is.
But how
Exactly.
does that make me
No,
good or not?
boo.
That just makes
It
me
No.
makes you
worried
act
about consequences. No, it makes
No.
me worried about consequences. You
No,
nice
boo.
man.
You do
Yes.
not have
And you still
consequences.
not going to.
Consequences does
You're-
not
but you
determine
won't see
ethics.
it.
It
The
just
mark
means-
cut him a little
intellectual
face,
fool
man.
is throwing around pejoratives when they don't have wisdom. Remember that.
You kind of talking all the way through
She's
and not
pissing me off.
listening.
Yes, go
But
ahead. I heard her say something man, which didn't seem, when I heard the crowd go, oh, it obviously wasn't positive.
So until we pause.
So
Fool. What a fool
so
am I?
the question is this: if you do not believe there's a consequence to your action, why wouldn't you do the action?
See, that's, again, the ideology of consequentialism. I don't really
Move her
subscribe
Yes,
to that.
there
I
should
think
be
that-
consequences.
No, but I think that consequences, your actions can exist outside of a vacuum of consequences, right? We can't make our decisions based on whether or not we think the actions will will lead to a certain outcome because those will always be random, right? So I revolve more around we try to do things that we think will promote general pro-social attitudes. I think that is more likely to get us other than worrying about that.
Let me ask you a hypothetical. This will tell me a lot. Is pedophilia wrong?
Pedophilia I consider to be wrong because it is actively damaging someone else, right?
But what if they say they're a minor attracted person and it's pro-social to be with a young person? Why are they wrong?
Do you know what pro-social means? Like pro-social means there's like pro-social and antisocial behaviors. It's like a theory of social psychology. Pro-social generally means working together, socialization.
No, they're socializing with an 8-year-old. Why is that wrong?
Okay, that's not socializing, and you know it. Antisocial behavior means doing things that are considered rejecting socialization, like rejecting other people, pushing things away, promoting things that other people actively end up considering less.
Please get her off the mic.
So then should pedophiles go to prison?
Pedophiles go to... I do not know what's the best way to handle pedophilia because...
She's 100% woke. She's 100% on the woke social justice. When you can't answer a question about
stupid
because you want to be so woke and so
intelligent sounding, and you sound stupid. You sound stupid.
No, because
that's boo her. That's right. Boo her.
I don't think that anyone should molest a child.
Okay, then. So you know what's wrong.
I really don't.
Why shouldn't a pedophile go to prison?
What? That's... Again, we're getting really off topic.
No, we're not.
Actually,
good and evil
we're
and
talking about college is a scam, and you're a perfect example, like one of the best I've ever seen to show the intellectual drivel that is taught on a college campus.
Thank you. Think that I'm not being taught about the good, the pure. Well, let's go back to that because I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, the good, the true. We'll do a couple more minutes. The good, the true, and the beautiful. Yes.
Right. So you think that that's something that can be quantified, can be taught, and that it
and experienced.
And not only that, that it should be taught. That we should promote the ideas of good and beauty to other people.
Correct.
Okay, but let's remove it from that. What about just the idea of... Because remember, the ancient Greeks and Romans that you love so much, they didn't have the same ideas of God in the same way that we do. But
That's
they
correct.
still... Thank you for saying I'm correct. That was really nice of you.
It's true, you're right.
So when they wanted to learn, when they sought out learning, when they had schools of learning and all that kind of stuff, a lot of the times they didn't just teach things around ethics. They taught other stuff. They taught astrology.
He is much nicer than Candace. Candace would have lit her up and told her to go on next person. I can't believe he sat here and wasted all this time with her. This is absolutely insane to me. He's a really nice guy because I can't.
Yeah.
They taught medicine, they taught science, they taught arts, and people wanted to learn that. Do you think that that ability, that experience of going into a place and saying, can you teach me more about this subject? Can I learn? Can I expand my worldview? Can I get open to different beliefs? Do you think that that should not be paid for or not be compensated?
First of all, it should definitely not be paid for. Secondly, it depends if those disciplines are rooted in the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty.
So you think only if they're tied into something that falls in your ideological worldview.
Can I finish? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If those disciplines are are rooted in the good, the true, and the beautiful, absolutely. Let me give you a hypothetical example.
Okay.
So if you go, I don't know if this school has one, but if they have some sort of center for like feminist ideology or some sort of do they have one here? Then that is not in the pursuit of what is good, true, and beautiful.
Exactly.
That is in the pursuit of how I can complain and hate men and get a degree and be paid for that.
Is that woo?
Yeah, I cannot. Having that type of conversation, I don't have the patience to keep talking in circles. Answer my question or move on to the next person so we can have a decent conversation. Because she wants to talk in circles, and I mean, come on. You know, ain't nothing glorious about no pedophile. Yes, they should go to jail. Period.
Yeah, ain't nothing glorious about. See, I don't like when people they're like, if I answer and
please,
and
good doggone well, it's wrong.
If I directly answer that question, then all my other questions start null and void.
Exactly.
So I have to keep running everything in a circle. And then when I do agree with you, I have to stretch it with a because or a but.
Well,
because I have to look sophisticated. I'm on the college campus.
I get it, but no, ma'am, no. And those are the people that I cannot tolerate. I just choose not to engage in conversations because it's cool to want to be intellectual.
Yeah.
However, when you want to disbar, if that's the word that I want to say, from if you want to disbar reality and truths like simple questions,
Yeah.
then please, you know good and well. And you try. She said try. Keyword is try, which is non-existent. And you either do it or you don't.
Yep.
So she still innately agrees with some of the things that he's saying about good, about bad, you know, or what perception is of right, of wrong. But she didn't want to admit to that because she wants to tie that back to Christian value. You know good and doggone well, if a policeman is standing right there, you're not going to steal because why? You don't want to go to jail.
Just like if you know good and well God is watching, if you know God is watching you, you're not going to be on your normal behavior. You're going to switch.
Yep, but people want to discredit him and act like he's non-existent.
All right, 2024, be more.
Talk less.
We'll
We love
see
you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, and keep coming back.
We'll see you.